The 918th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 918 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Malachi Duvernay, who on YouTube says, amazing video, hell yeah, about our KSW 110 video. So there you go. Hopefully Gumby did good on that video. I think he did.
4-1, I think, because we got caught in the main event. I want to be in 3-2, but we also hit the 2 lightning round plays. Our main event was main event was steamrolling until he got caught with a knee.
Yep, these things happen in MMA. That is Daniel Gumby. I'm Mr. Pimp, all caps, Jeff Fox. And we got LFA today. LFA 218, Nascimento versus Makaev. It's going down in Tenerife, Spain. Usually LFA is either the Americas, basically United States, actually, not really Canada, or Mexico, or Brazil. And now they're in Spain. So Tenerife Sports Pavilion, Santiago Martin is where it is. If you want to go see it Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern start time. Thoughts on the fight card, Gumby?
Weird, because it's not like, I don't mean to be mean, but like we're used to seeing like this like list of guys on LFA. I know this guy, when every time they go to the Mystic Lake Casino in Minnesota or whatever that one's called, we know this guy fights, right? That we know that's when we see Kelton Sneeve, right? Or when we go down to the Broken Arrow Casino in Arizona or something like that, and like we know that's where we see Casey Tanner, right? Like those are just the guys we see when we go to those places. So like I'm used to knowing like, oh, we're going there, that's where we see that person, or we're going to Minnesota and that's where we see Cheyenne Bowers, or like I'm used to all those things. We've never been to Tenerife with LFA. I got no idea what they're trying to do here, but they got a lot of local guys in there, or European guys. Fun that they're branching out and reaching out and doing something new. And it required me to do a little bit more research than I usually do for LFA.
That was a follow-up question. The whole question was hard work.
I mean, I found all these guys. I wouldn't say it was hard work. Like, first of all, we already work a pretty easy job here.
Yeah.
But then second of all, like, they were really easy to locate film on all of these guys, but it was just like, it was weird to have to do it, because usually LFA rolls around and I'm like, oh, just remind me how good Cheyenne Bowers' grappling looks, or just remind me how good this guy looks at this area, or this person looks in this area, or this person's, how good Chapelin's hands are, like just give me a little reminders. And here I was like, I don't have the slightest idea who this is. And let's go learn. So,
yep. But now you're like everybody else, or 99% of the rest of the people in the world. Gumby knows his regional MMA. Now he knows even more, which is good. He learned about all these people. And to remind you, he's creeping towards plus 40 units, I think, on the year in non-UFC plays.
Yeah, hopefully a good contender series that you can watch tonight will put me over that threshold, because we got one of my plays posted at 280 and seems to be creeping higher. And maybe that'll be the one that pushes us over.
Nice. All right. Let's dive into it after I remind you to check out the SGPN app in your app store for easy access to all their free plays and props. So SGPN in your app store. All right. As I said, let's go quick recap of what we're talking about here. LFA 218, Nascimento versus Makaev, Tenerife, Spain, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern start time. UFC Fight Pass, making it easy. 10 fights. We're going to cover half of them, and then lightning round we'll cover a bunch more. Tenerife Sports Pavilion, Santiago Martin is where it is taking place, and we are starting off with a bout with it's very international, lots of different countries here. Guilherme Soares, he is from Portugal. Robin Roos, he is from Sweden. Am I correct?
Yes,
Sweden. 3 5-minute rounds, and they're fighting at 185. No odds yet, but LFA is very easy to find odds, so just go to mybookie.ag. Actually, they may be dropped out there by the time I am saying these words to you. All right, Roos is Pretty Boy. We just had a Pretty Boy, I think, 2 episodes ago.
It's a pretty popular nickname.
It is. This pretty boy, 7-5 with 7 knockouts. He's been submitted once. This is his debut in LFA. Loss over his last 3, 5-2 over his last 7. Regional champion. Used to fight at 170, a year younger than Soares. Soares 16-7, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. This is his debut as well in LFA. He's won 3 straight. Before that, he lost 3 straight, and he's gone 5-3 over his last 8. He's not lost since July 2017. He is a regional champ. He used to fight at 170 and 205. 2011 Pro MMA debut.
So I just can't quit Robin Roos. Maybe, and I don't know why. I really do believe this guy is way better than his record states. He fought, was it Dario Belandi? He fought for was it Cage Warriors title in middleweight?
He did fight for Cage Warriors title, I believe.
Yes,
and right. Yep.
He looked great in that fight until he ran out of gas. And then Belandi was just like, haha, I'm going to just zap everything you have with this like annoying ass style. No offense. It was just like, and like Bruce is so fun to watch until he like tires out like that. But it's like kickboxing's fun. He's got good kicks, great range control, all that kind of stuff. And then like, I think it plays well against Soares here. I know Soares is going to be a massive favorite here. This is, I didn't take a single dog swing last episode, so we're going to kick this one off with one. Roos is probably going to be 250, maybe 300 even. And I think he's worth the play here because if you watch Soares, like all of his best offense comes in the clinch. He's going to have to get a hold of Roos in order to get there. And in the meantime, I think he's going to eat leg kicks. I think he's going to eat strikes from the better, faster striker. In terms of his grappling game, like Soares has got good submissions, but he's like, I don't say this derogatorily. He's kind of a ghillie jumper. Like that's kind of what he does. I've seen him finish one fairly recently. It's good, but like Roos is not going to dip his head down. He's not going to wind up in a clinch where he's like sticks his head down and looks for wrestling. He wants this fight to be on the feet. He wants to stand and trade. So like Soares is going to have to figure out how to close that distance. And if he doesn't, I think Bruce is the better striker from range. So like the real question in this one winds up being like, can Robin Roos stay in range and can his cardio last long enough that he doesn't, for some reason, weirdly get finished in the 3rd round by just exhaustion, pure exhaustion. And I think like at 3-1, I think I'm willing to roll the dice that he can do both of those things. Again, I don't know why, like he's burnt me twice already, I think. And like, I don't know why I really truly believe in Robin Roos, but I think he's, what do you say, 7-5? I think he's so much better than 7-5. So especially because the books will, see that 7-5 and sort of scoff at it. I think Robin Roos is probably going to have tremendous value here. So that's who we're going to go with.
Maybe you can't quit him because he's a pretty boy. Could that be it, Gumby?
Maybe I like short queens and pretty boys.
Exactly. That's where I was headed. You're right. Short queens and pretty boys. There's a good title right there. All right. We got a Georgian fighter next. Gocha Shainidze. I'd rather call him Gocha, but it's probably Gocha. He's from Georgia. Magomed Nazurov. He is from Russia. 3 5-minute rounds. 135. Nazurov is Black Boars. All one word, all capitalized on Tapology. So Black Wolf. They have a thing about wolves over there. He's 4-0. 1 knockout, 1 submission. This is his debut in LFA. 2 straight wins via finish. He's fed at 125. 3 years younger than Shainidze. Shainidze's the Nightmare. 8-0, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. This is his debut as well. TKO win in his last bout. Regional champ, 2 inches of height over Nazurov. Who is losing their 0 here, Gumby?
Oh, I think Nazurov's losing it. I think Shainidze is going to be a big favorite here too. I don't care that there's a Russian sounding name with Nazurov there. I think
Boars though. Boars. Come on, Boars.
Yeah, I hear all that. I still think the books are going to install Shainidze like -225 here. He's good. And Nazurov for me is kind of, he's just like a touch too one-dimensional in my opinion. He's a decent wrestler, but I think that one dimension is worse than it is for Shainidze. Like I think Shainidze is just like better at the one thing that Nazurov is good at than he is. And Nazurov, for not for anything too, like while I've seen him get takedowns before too, like I think there are enough questions about his like positioning and his jiu-jitsu that make me say like, man, you can't even trust that wrestling to hold up or to like, if he does get a takedown for that wrestling to matter. Because I've seen him like get just like, butterfly sweeped or, I've seen people roll through on his takedown attempts and wind up on top. And like, that just shows me he's got like good entries to his wrestling, and maybe the finish is still like a touch behind where it should be. And so for Shainidze, like he's got all of that stuff. He's got the takedowns. He does really nice work with trips. He gets in on the hips. I will say I'm a touch worried about his striking. Should this turn into a striking fight? Just because I mostly haven't seen it. He's like, I mean, like not to just lean into a Georgian stereotype here, but like he's the Merab Dvalishvili. Like I am just going to shoot 35 takedowns in this fight, and there will be enough volume on those takedown attempts that you will lose. And I think that plays here against Nazurov because, as I said, the positional of Nazurov isn't all that good, which means if you put him on his back, he's probably not terribly great there either. So I think Shainidze, rinse and repeat, takedown after takedown attempt. I think he probably pulls this one off. So give me Gocha Shainidze, and I think he's probably a big favorite.
Oh, doke. Before we dive into more winning plays, let me tell you about mybookie.ag. We're brought to you by them. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. They have easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. They will have LFA lines there if they don't already. When you do head over to mybookie.ag, sign up with our promo code MMA SGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. So that's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Novig. That's Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Okay, let's see where we're going to next. We have got a welterweight bout next. Alvi Dasuyev. He is from Belgium. I always want to say Germany. Very similar flags. He is from Belgium. Daniil Prikaza. He is from, I think, Russia, correct? Yes, Russia. Mother Russia. 3 5-minute rounds, 170. Break it down by telling you about Prikaza first. 16-7-2, 11 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. This is his LFA debut. This is why Gumby had to do some research here. Every fighter recovering except one are making their debut here. Prikaza has lost 3 straight fights. Before that, he won 4 straight. He's not fought since June 2024. He's not won since October 2022. However, he has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Use Fed at 185, 2013 Pro MMA debut. Who's he fighting? Dasuyev. He's Spartan, 6-0, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. So he's finished everyone. He owes us rounds. This is his debut as well. Regional champion. Use Fed at 185, 8 years younger than Prikaza, 4 inches taller.
So I'm going to say Dasuyev is going to win this one. I'm really interested on where the line comes in. Because I think the books will probably be overhyped on Dasuyev. If I had to line this one, I'd put him at like -170, but I got a weird feeling it comes in at like 250, maybe 300 or something like that. Because like he's 6-0 and he's looked really flashy. I think Prikaza is better than being a 2-1 or 3-1 underdog against Dasuyev. So I would just say, like, if this comes in the ones and you want to get on Dasuyev or put him in a parlay, sure. By all means, he's probably worth the value there. I think he's going to win the fight. I think that's, all that matters. But if he's big and -300, like this just does feel a little bit like it could be a parlay buster. So like, don't roll it in there if the value is not coming back too. So, and the reason why is like, I don't think Prikaza is as good on the feet. He fights kind of in a little bit of a hunched over stance, but he's got really nice overhands. It's just like kind of mostly overhands is kind of the only thing he does really well. If you watched his fight he fought, I can't remember his first name. Who's Kachenko who fought in the UFC? You remember Kachenko? You remember that guy? He was like 0-3 or something like that. He was like not terribly great. Alexei Kachenko? That sounds
yes,
right?
You're right. Yep.
Alexei Kachenko. So he fought Alexei Kachenko, and in that fight, he just like he really ran out of gas late. The overhands were there, but like spamming overhands, it tends to tire you out. Like that's one of those adages that kind of gets thrown in there, but like it happened to him. And, like that fight had a little bit of clinch grappling and stuff like that. That seemed to tire him out. So like, I think Prikaza is got dangerous hands, but he's kind of predictable and maybe like doesn't have the cardio. So I think Dasuyev should take over late in this fight. And in the footwork and the striking is certainly good enough to stay away from Prikaza. Like he should, stick and move, get Prikaza to miss a bunch of times and then pick him apart late. And that should work. But I do worry a little bit about the overhand. I do worry if like that wrestling gets going early because I've seen Dasuyev wrestle a little bit, but like maybe not against anybody like Prikaza. So that worries me a little bit. But I think the speed difference on the feet should probably keep him away from that wrestling. So I'm going to go Dasuyev. I am going to cautiously check out that line though.
Yep. He's like in the 90% on Tapology.
Yeah. So like, what if that comes in the 4? Like, I'm just,
yeah,
I'm not playing it straight up. I'm not rolling it into parlays. I'm just like staying away from that.
Yep. All right, we're to our co-main event already. It is a featherweight bout. Kevin Cordero from Spain. Walter, excuse me, Cogliandro from Ireland. 3 5-minute rounds, 145. Cogliandro, we will tell you about first. He is the Snatch. 15-7-1. 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted twice. This is his debut in LFA. He's won 1 of 4, 4 of 7. He did win his last bout, though, via submission. He's got multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky with it. I haven't said that for a while. 0-1 in Bellator, RIP. 0-1 championship, the biggest promotion in mankind. He's fighting 155, 1-0 in custom fighting, which could be anything over in Ireland, right? 2 inches of height over Cordero. Cordero is 15-5, 4 knockouts, 7 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. This is his debut as well. He's also won 1 of 4. 9 of 12. TKO win in his last bout. That was back in June of 2024. Multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Shirt, merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Cordero's fought pretty much every weight class. 125, 135, 155. 8 years younger than Cogliandro.
Did you say Ireland for Cogliandro?
I think that's what he's
pretty sure he's Italian.
Right. He is Italian. You're right.
Similar flags.
Similar flags. He is Italian.
Cogliandro.
Mamma mia. But he fights at SBG Ireland, which confused me as well. So yes.
Oh, okay. So it's a Italian flag and an Irish fight. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna go Cordero in this one. I think slight favorite because Cogliandro is sort of been around the block. He's fought pretty much everywhere. I want to say we saw him on a Cage Warriors. I think we've seen him on a UAE. Like he's just like fought for a whole bunch of promotions. And I think that's going to move the line down. But the bottom line is like we've seen Cordero with a little bit better of a record and has done well against maybe a higher tier of opponents than Cogliandro sometimes. And the big piece for me in this one is just like, I really do think the wrestling of Cordero can take over in this one. Cogliandro sort of gets caught up in throwing in fights. Like he loves to enter the pocket and just get messy. But when he does, like the counter to the wrestling is typically right there. And Cordero, he's actually, I've seen him not even engage in the wrestling and still wind up better because he like hips over his opponent in the process. And it's like really worked well for him. So like, I know the wrestling's in there, might be even a judo base or something like that originally. But he's definitely got the ability to wrestle Cogliandro. In addition to that too, like Leandro's like more of a, like he gets after it and gets messy and throws with some heat, but it's like a volume sort of approach. Whereas Cordero is like going to kick that lead leg repeatedly of Cogliandro. He's going to reset a bunch of times. He's going to try not to engage in the brawl. And then I think he does take advantage of the brawl if it winds up in the on the ground or in the clinch. Like I think he's just the right kind of fighter to be able to deal with that against Cogliandro. So I'm going to go Cordero. I'm going to hope he stays down in the 1 somewhere because I think that's where he's playable. Because Cogliandro's tough as hell too. He's mixed it up against some pretty good opponents. But I just think Cordero is just a little bit too fast, a little bit too much.
Okay. You got the pick. You got Cordero. All right. Before we get to our main event of the evening, let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It's a great place to play fantasy pick'em. You can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available for a ton of sports. Gumby's probably going to give you a play right now. I have a feeling.
Oh God, man. We do these early week episodes. Yeah. We get plenty of action here. Okay, I guess we're gonna go to NFL Week 4. Thursday, got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. It seems like Sam Darnold just wants to throw only to Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I'm gonna say JSN. I'll take the higher than on his receiving yards.
All right. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMA SGPN. And Rhythm, RTHMM. Rhythm is off to a great start in college football and the NFL. Rhythm has introduced a leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gumby, do you have a play for the people? Maybe for Thursday Night Football?
Sure. Let's take the also we'll take the higher than on James Conner's rushing yards too. I've always been a big James Conner guy. I think he can pick up enough here to cover against the Seahawks. So let's take the higher than on his rushing yards.
All right, see if Rhythm agrees with Gumby. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, RTHMM, and use our promo code SGPN25. All right, we've made it to the main event. It's for the FA Interim Lightweight Championship. Why is it interim, Gumby? And why is he defending it?
So he's defending it because, first of all, he was the interim champion like 2 years ago. I don't know if they've stripped him of that interim title and now he's fighting for it again. But I don't know why it was interim 2 years ago. So let's start there. But I do know the undisputed title belongs to, is it Richie Miranda just beat Ilya Barzilay? Or did Ilya Barzilay beat Richie Miranda? Do I have that backwards?
It's one of those two people.
I think Richie Miranda beat Ilya. Why do I not remember the result of that fight? I want to say Richie Miranda beat Ilya Barzilay by decision. He just wore him down late. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right.
It was a good day. It was a good day for bloodlines that day.
You are correct. Yeah.
Cup Swanson's gym. But yeah, so like that's the undisputed one. Why this guy got an interim title 2 years ago and they're like, hey, let's do it again. No idea.
It's not undisputed. If there's an interim, it is disputed.
Interim,
yeah.
Very disputed.
It's very disputed. All right, so the interim lightweight championship: Jefferson Nascimento versus Baysangur Makaev. He is from Sweden, which may surprise you. At least that's what flag he has beside his name on Tapology. So Brazilian versus a Swede. 5-minute rounds, 155. Makaev is 7-1, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. This is his debut in LFA. He has won 7 straight bouts. He's not lost since his pro debut, which was October 2021. He's regional champ. He's fed at 145. He's a year younger than Nascimento, 2 inches taller. Nascimento, Todinho is the nickname. 11-0, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's 4-0 in LFA. He is the interim champion. TKO win in his last bout. That was back in November of 2023. Used to fight at 170.
All right. I think Nascimento, being the former champ, is still going to be the favorite here, but the Russian-sounding name on the other side, even if he's from Sweden, actually that might make it worse. Swedish-Russian guys are the scariest, right? Right. That's Kamzat used to be a Swedish-Russian guy, right? Now he's UAE, right? He reps UAE now? And was Makaev there? No. Makaev has always been Britain. I'm trying to remember who the other one I'm thinking of was. Adlan Amagov? Was Adlan Amagov there?
Sure. Maybe.
Do you remember Adlan Amagov?
Yes, I do, but I don't remember where he's from.
two middleweight fights in the UFC. Anyway, yeah, I think the Russian sounding name for Makaev brings that number down a little bit. So let's say like -145, like maybe plus 115, 125 on Makaev. And I'm gonna end this one with an underdog pick. I'm gonna take Makaev. I don't like the layoff for Nascimento. Let me start there.
Right.
And then the other thing I really don't like about this fight is in terms of the wrestling, I do think Makaev has a slight advantage. He's a takedown artist who, when he takes people down, and I think I mentioned this about today on this episode, or was it yesterday's episode? He's just like very good at like cutting angles for takedowns. So that reduces the amount of effort. It also typically helps you deal with a guy who's got a good wrestling base better, right? Like if you just try to plow a double leg through a guy who's good at wrestling, he has the defense for that. He has the strength for that. He knows the underhooks. But if you have like, you shoot a takedown and you quickly change the angle, it can catch more people off guard. You wind up with better success rate on it. And it's like, just better fundamental wrestling in a lot of ways. So like Makaev is better than that at Nascimento. I think both of them are, in the same ballpark of wrestling. And so like, if somebody's got an advantage, it's Makaev. But if this is forced to take place on the feet, I also like Makaev there too. And the bottom line is just like, there is a lot of things that Nascimento does in terms of striking that is just, you would just consider not fundamental. Overly winding up on him is one of them. Like when he throws a punch, you like see it coming unless you're like thick. So like you should be able to see that this dude is about to throw an overhand right. You should be able to see this dude is winding up for a hook that he like found in his back pocket. Like that's the thing with Nascimento. And then another one for me with him is like sometimes he gets into this like weird striking range where he throws punches almost, they're not quite the Trevor Peak hammer fist from close up, but it almost seems like he's trying to like punch and slap you at the same time. And you're just like, I know he's probably just like in a weird range or overly excited or something like that, but like there's a reason more people don't punch like that, right? It's because it's ineffective and it's like, not a good use of your power and your strength. And so like all of those things from Nascimento haven't really cost him because he could use his wrestling as a backup or, he's got a good motor and like all of those things. Here, like, I don't think the wrestling is a backup plan because I think Makaev is a better wrestler and the motor I don't think matters. I think Makaev has just got as good of a motor. So like if it does come down to that striking, I think the basic technical striking that Makaev brings, the slick 1-2 and get your head off the center line, the jab hook to the body that he does, like, is good enough that like the big windup on the other way gets punished too many times. So I'm gonna go Makaev. I think there's a bunch of different kind of ways he could possibly take advantage here, but I think just like the bottom line is he's just like a real small sliver better than Nascimento in a lot of different ways.
All right. Awesome. Let's give you a recap. We'll get you some bonus plays. We'll get out of here. Makaev, Cordero, Dasuyev, Shainidze, and Roos. All right. Lightning round. Zap, bam, boom, pow. Let it rip.
All right. So the first one I'm going to take, I think is going to be a big dog, but for some reason, I've been hooked on some Norwegian fighters too. And so this is, bear with me on the pronunciation because I'm going to botch it. His first name's Ole, O-L-E. His last name is Hetleflot.
Nice.
Which is a sick name. But 2-1 Norwegian fighter. Didn't look real great in the loss, but he's got a like huge amateur career where he's shown like a diverse set of skills, particularly the submissions. So I think Hetleflot, Ole Hetleflot is a fun one. And then the other one I'm going to take is Oscar Mendez. He's 6-2 out of Spain. He's actually going to be fighting on the main card. And he's fighting this like young up and comer that people are kind of hyped on. You might be able to find Mendez as a dog, but he's a Spanish fighter who's had like a pretty decent level of competition since he's turned pro. And I think maybe people are just sleeping on like, hey, maybe those results don't look great, but like there's a reason why they're there. So once again, that is Hetleflot and Mendez is my two lightning round plays.
Fantastic. All right. You are all set. We shall be back tomorrow. Yes, UFC is in Perth, so we'll be covering that tomorrow. In the meantime and in between time and at all times, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. All our writing is there. You can hit us up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. You can hit us up in YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast is what our YouTube would be. Thank you for subscribing. Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gummy Vrila, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there, and on Instagram for me. Top Turtle MMA. Gummy's got a podcast. He's got some UFC fighters on it this week.
Yeah, Jonathan McAuliffe, who's looking for his second straight win down in Perth this weekend, as well as Colby Thickness, who's finally getting a full training camp to fight in the UFC.
Nice. So check out Top Turtle. You can check out my Substack, moneymma.substack.com. I got a free UFC at Perth Pick'em contest up there right now. And of course, we're, like I said, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And I believe it's Gumby's turn to bid you farewell.
All right, I'm Dana Gumby Vreeland. He's Pretty Boy Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow. Yeah, I guess we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.